War flares up on two European fronts. That's a report from 1914, but we may have a bigger concern right now, as according to the Times and the Telegraph, Putin orders nuclear military train to Ukraine. Okay, that's not a good sign. Putin orders nuclear military train to the Ukraine. This is a report straight from the Times and the Telegraph. It says NATO leaders are claiming that Russia's preparing to demonstrate its willingness to use nuclear weapons in the escalating conflict by conducting a nuclear test on Ukraine's borders. That could escalate. That could provoke bad things. Part of the evidence from this is from a Polish-based defense analyst who says that a train convoy linked to the Russian Ministry of Defense is transporting equipment for Russia's nuclear weapons program in the directions of the front lines of Ukraine. Okay, this is a train. It's operated by a secretive nuclear division of the Russian Ministry of Defense. The 12th main directorate of the Russian Ministry of Defense, which is known to be involved in nuclear weapons training. Some believe, of course, that this is a bogus report, and that it's biased because it comes from Polish and British sources, which are anti-Russian, and so they may want to just ignore this. But when we have reports from Polish analysts who have a major influence, they're right on the border there. We have reports that nuclear weapons are headed toward the coast. We don't want to be too cavalier about just blowing it off, because this could be the Archduke Ferdinand moment, which we saw going all the way back to 1914 again, the Sarajevo assassination. In that case, the Archduke, the assassination of the Archduke Ferdinand triggered World War I. Just an assassination of one man. It knocked over those dominoes, and they fell and they spread across like wildfire across all of Europe, unleashing World War I and all the trench warfare, the mustard gas, the mass death by the millions and millions of soldiers dying all across the continent. And now they're like, they're just sending some nuclear weapons trains to the border of Ukraine, and Putin's already said he's going to use them. Just nothing to see here. No problem. Okay, sure. Let's just blow it off and continue provoking with our rhetoric. All right. Let me just give you an example here. What happened in the Archduke in 1914 was six assassins were in Sarajevo. Six assassins were set up along the route that the Archduke Ferdinand was taking, and the first one threw a grenade, which injured at least a couple of the people in the progression in the caravan. A couple of the Duke survived himself, but a couple of his men were injured. And they went along, and they took those injured people for treatment. And an hour later, after the Archduke was visiting those two men, he was heading back down the street, and they took a wrong turn. Think about this. They took a wrong turn, and it just happened that an assassin was waiting down there. The assassin steps up and shoots the Archduke Ferdinand, killing him. Now, what are the chances of just taking a wrong turn and an assassin is just waiting for you? Call me skeptical, but I think maybe this was some kind of an insider job. I don't know, but all right. That incident led to what is referred to as the July crisis, where you have a panic sweeping across Europe. All of these different countries are starting to maneuver and diplomacy, and they're all getting ready for war. And that's when it was like, there's nothing like a wildfire in the wind. The wind, you could have 100-mile-hour wind, and it just blows those flames across the mountains or the open fields, and the fire just spreads like wildfire. And that's what could happen. That's what happened in World War One. That could happen certainly if a nuclear weapons testing on the border of Ukraine in order to make a point and show that Putin is serious, if this actually happens, that's a bigger deal than a simple assassination of the Archduke. And certainly anything goes at that moment. Now, if the train is already en route, that could happen within days or weeks. It could happen in October. Pray it doesn't happen, but we need to be aware that it is a possibility. So one lesson from history is don't assume that we can just play around and play chicken and mess with fate to that extent. And if you start provoking causes have effects, and this could happen. So let's pray it doesn't. Lessons in history. Thanks for watching.